Welcome everyone to Making Sales Social Live, brought to you by Social Sales Link. I'm Bob Woods, and I'm joined by co-host and fellow LinkedIn and social selling professional, Bryn Tillman. How you doing, Bryn?
I'm great, Bob. How are you?
I'm doing good, except for my voice a little bit. I spent Saturday afternoon in an ultimately frustrating game with a lot of cheering going on, so my voice and stuff is a little bit. So I'm going to try to mute if I have to cough, but we are going to go on because we have an important topic to talk about today. So, like I said, so if
Yeah.
you're with us live right now, today is Cyber Monday, the day when tons of people are shopping online, literally like right now, for their
hmm
holiday gift giving. So, if you're joining us on the podcast, this is then obviously recorded and it's past Cyber Monday, but what we're about to discuss still pertains to anyone who is listening to this podcast. As sales professionals, we're all looking, or ideally should be looking, to beef up our personal libraries with resources and books to help us with our jobs. I love reading books, and I know Bryn does too. Absolutely. Whether
Yeah.
it's on tape or podcast or actually just sitting down and just reading the sucker. So today we're going to discuss the top 10 sales books we think should be on any salesperson's or sales manager's bookshelf. So not all of these are new books, but they are the ones that have influenced us the most. And speaking of influence, we are going to be starting off with the one that Brent and I should probably be building creepy little altars to. Essentially, it's the Challenger Sale by Matthew Dixon and Brent Adamson
Adamson.
or Adamson.
Adamson.
Adamson. Okay,
Yeah.
yes, yeah, that's what happens. But so, I mean, we say this because this is the basis. This and two other books are the basis for everything that we do here at Social Sales Link. It informs our mindset, it informs our process, it informs how we teach things and what we teach. I mean, just everything. It's like, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. So tell us a little bit more about how it's influenced us here specifically, Brent.
Yeah, I love this. So the Challenger sale came out pretty long time ago now. And I first heard about it when I was on a prospecting call with Aramark. I sat in with the decision makers on LinkedIn training, and they said, "We have just gone through the Challenger sale training." And we asked the trainers, "What's next?" And they said, "Get some LinkedIn training." So here you are. And I was very fortunate to get the gig. And they handed me the book, The Challenger Sale, and said, "Can you create a course for LinkedIn around this book?" And I said, "Sure." And then when they said how much, I said, "Well, for that price, do I get to keep the course?" And they said, "Absolutely." So we sat down and we really took deep dive into the Challenger sale and we built a program around that. But it wasn't quite enough. It was a great start, but we needed to bring in a couple of other concepts and philosophies. So two other books. So that was our first book is the Challenger Sale. The next book that I brought in that I had read quite a few years before was the Little Black Book of Connections by Jeffrey Gitomer. Now he has an enormous library of amazing books, including the Little Black Book, the Little Red Book of Selling. This one, however, had the largest impact on how we went to market. So the reason this was so important when we talk about connections is a few things. One of them is it's not about who knows who you know, it's about who knows you. So that was really very important. And I just want to go back really quickly to the Challenger sale because I never really talked about why it was so pivotal. But the bottom line in the Challenger sale is it really talked about providing value first and earning the right, providing insights, reframing their problem and challenge in a way and bringing insight. So instead of just asking discovery questions and then going in for the sale, it was about bringing them value. And the more value we can bring them, the more we're leading to our solution, right? So that's where our big concept from don't lead with your solution, lead to your solution really came from. So I just wanted to clarify that. Little Black Book of Connections is really phenomenal book about truly connecting, also bringing value. The third book is Endless Referrals by my mentor, Bob Berg, whom I
Berg.
absolutely adore. And I
Same
adore
here.
Gittimer and Brent Adamson. So I've been fortunate to build relationships with these authors over time, which has been amazing. Now, most people know Bob Berg for The Go-Giver. This, however, was the book that really helped to influence the way that we go to market with LinkedIn, how we teach LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's magic, and there's so many things, and Bob will talk about content and things around that are amazing. But when I was a sales trainer and I was creating this curriculum with the Challenger Sale, the Little Black Book of Connections, there was still one more kind of gap. Not to jump on your books, but there was a gap in there, which was the huge value of LinkedIn is the ability to search and filter your connections to see your social proximity to your buyers. And Endless Referrals was absolutely positively one of the most influential books. I'm going to just finish off my three left, and then Bob will hop into yours.
Before
Yeah.
we do that, just really quick, and this is a great idea. I wish I would have thought of mentioning this before. But anyone's joining us right now, if you want to throw in some of your books that you like into chat, that's fantastic. We've already got one from Stephen Farber, "Discover Questions" by Deb Calvert.
I love Deb.
Lisa Lamunion, apologize if I mishear your name. "Business Outside" by Bart Foster. I haven't heard of that one, but that one it sounds like it's a good one. I like it just from the title itself. And Gunnar just added that he's going to add Endless Referrals to his reading list. I think that that's a great one. So if you have any books that you like, please feel free to throw them into chat, and we will obviously let people know about those as we go through as well. Sorry about that, Bryn, but I just saw that and I thought, oh, that's such a good idea. So yep, absolutely.
Live,
Oh,
LinkedIn Live.
yeah,
That's what I love about it. Okay. So Go Givers, also by Bob Berg and David Mann. Most everyone in sales knows about the Go Giver. And it's a phenomenal book. And it's really it's a fable of a man moving from being a go-getter, where I'm out there going get, to a go-giver, and how that really influences his business. This particular book, and he has a few go-givers leaders, and influencers. So he's got a few versions. This particular version, I think, is incredibly powerful because it's directly related to growing business and how to be a go-giver and still close business, right? So it's really an amazing book. I have two more. The next one is someone we actually took her course as a company some time back.
great
My,
course.
my my book is a little overread, so it's got some marks on it. Oops, I just dropped the next one, which is Barbara Weaver Smith, Whale Hunting. What an incredible book. And the reason I love it so much is about how do we work as a team to go after big accounts. And it's the story of the Inuit Eskimos in Alaska and how they only need to kill one whale for the entire year to feed and clothe and everything that they need for their village, and how the entire village comes together to do that. And the lesson really is, how does your entire company come together to close really big business? Now I'm going to go pick up the book I dropped because, we're live.
Gravity can be a bear sometimes.
This one, and by the way, I listen to this podcast, I engage in their group. This is a book called Masters of Scale by Reid
Yeah.
Hoffman. Reid Hoffman, you may know, is the founder of LinkedIn, and he is now an investor at Greylock. So he's investing in tech companies. But what I love about this book and the podcast, and they even have some courses on apps, is that you get the inside scoop of Airbnb founders and Uber founders and people that have these huge companies now, but they talk about when they were almost bankrupt in the beginning. And this is the things they had to do to just get the first couple of customers, and then what they had to do beyond that. And the stories are so fascinating, and they give you their journey to scale. And it's just an amazing compilation of these huge CEOs that started off like us.
Yep.
And I just absolutely love that. So those are my books. Let's talk
So
about
before we
you.
go on to mine, Gunnar has put another one in there too. Gunnar Hood says one of his favorite books is They Ask, You Answer by Marcus Sheridan. So that's another
Ah,
book for you to check out as well. I'm assuming all these are going to be available on Amazon. So you can go get all of the deets there and read reviews and everything else there as well. So my first book is one that I actually interviewed her for a podcast episode earlier this year. So if you want to look up the Kay Miller podcast episode and really listen to that, we had a great time talking about her book and what it is that she teaches. The actual book is called Uncopyable Sales Secrets. Again, that is by Kay Miller. And for Patrick Morrison, who just suggested Gap Selling by Keenan, that one's next. So this book is really amazing, as it goes through so much. First of all, her story is she went into two very male oriented types of sales. One was essentially lumber, and then the next one was mufflers of all things. And by using everything that she teaches in this book, she just owned those industries, won major awards, did very well, and just an amazing, incredible story. And it also really goes to what we teach and believe here. It's all about true win-win sales. Defining what she calls your moose, which is your ideal client. In other words, don't sell to everyone, sell to your ideal clients. Has to do with effective follow-up and fulfilling promises. She's very big on sharing stories that truly help the customer with their needs. And as you could tell, someone who has been in those male dominated industries, and yet she was very successful. She is very, very much about personal branding, which is becoming just huge in today's world of social selling and using social networks, especially LinkedIn, to sell. So this is a tremendous book, I think, for everyone to have on their bookshelves. And again, I actually used her earlier this year. If you want to look up that podcast edition, you can go ahead and do that. So the next one, which Patrick has already mentioned, Gap Selling by Keenan. So first off, I always like mononyms. So Keenan, I wish I could just go by Bob, but that one's a little too generic. But so first off, he drops, and this is a warning, spoiler alert. He's a swear monster, so he does like to swear. If you can get past that, though, there is just so much incredible information, a lot of really good stuff to take away in Gap Selling. His main principle is that sales isn't about pitching products and services. It's about solving problems that make people's lives easier. And I'm going to read just a really short thing from the book here. It's in his book is in direct conflict to what we've been taught to believe for years, like relationships really don't matter. We all know that's not the case. People really do buy from people they don't like. We all know that that's not the case. There is no such thing as closing, even with what we teach here. Yeah, you got to close. But so I mean, it's like it's a really great mindset book, and there's actually tactics and things like that in here too. But I think it's a very, very important one that everyone should have on their shelves out there. That I have. My last two are actually going to be a more related to sales without being about sales. But this one, especially here, Everyone Writes by Anne Handley. So this one, as you could tell, is about writing. And I've got the first edition from 2014, which I still think is fantastic and lives up to everything that's happening today. I just found out she put out a second edition just a couple of months ago. So if you do want to add to your bookshelf, make sure it's the second edition. I literally ordered the second edition 20 minutes ago. So if that doesn't tell you how much I like the book, I don't tell you what does. So this one is great for salespeople who use LinkedIn and social selling because it really drives home the fact that anyone can produce great content. Again, everybody writes. So this book gives you the mindset, and it also gives you frameworks to use, and it does it in a really fun, witty way. And like I said, I wish I had the second edition, because she says that she's updated it with even newer frameworks and how to use specific things to really push your content out there. But as we all know, a lot about social selling is about content, and in LinkedIn, it's about content. And everyone can do this. This book will definitely get you very, very well on your way towards achieving that. So because I'm always looking for those oddball things, but things that work really well. My last book is something that you probably haven't heard of. It's called Cigars, Whiskey, and Winning: Leadership Lessons from General Ulysses S. Grant. And this one's published by Al Kaltman. This is an incredible book. It's not a sales book per se. It's more about general business and business leadership, but there are a lot of really great lessons about business. In fact, there are 250 lessons that I can literally just go through this book and just stop and just have everything in here. The value of symbols is number 227. So that can be taken in a wide variety of ways. And this is how good this book is. There's a Princeton University history professor who said of the book, historians and entrepreneurs alike will find this book invaluable. I don't know if there would ever be a sentence to where you would have both historians and entrepreneurs in the same sentence. But if those two diverse groups can get a lot out of it, then I think everyone could get a lot out of this. And the funny story behind this is that I got this on my birthday from my dad. My birthday is the same day as Ulysses S. Grant, and my dad didn't even know that. I actually had to tell him that. So there was a lot of serendipity, I think, involved in that too. So I definitely cranked through this book, and I pick it up all the time and just, page through it, pick out a page, and just read that individual lesson from it. It's really a tremendous book. And we have a bonus for you as well. So we're talking more about resources. We just wanted to remind you about our own library that we have here at Social Sales Link. It's full of so many resources that are dedicated to LinkedIn and social selling. And unlike Cyber Monday, it's free. So socialsaleslink.com/library is how you can sign up for it. Socialsaleslink.com/library. Once you sign up, you got access to so many things that can help you with LinkedIn and social selling.
Awesome. You know what? As I'm doing this, there are two more books I'm going to throw in, because I'm
Yeah, let's
looking.
absolutely.
I'm
Let's
you
do
know
it.
all these books. There are a couple more that I just really really love that I feel
Brenda's
bad.
walking away. She's going to
Okay.
get some books. She's
Okay.
coming back.
So, Do It
Yes.
Marketing by David Newman. Bonus,
Yes.
right? Really
Absolutely.
powerful. And he has one on speaking also. So if you're a speaker, but what's great about these are they're really clever, fast, um, like things that you can implement. He has 77 instant action ideas, and man, are they good. And the other one, which is a little tiny book that's incredibly powerful, is by my friend Robbie Samuels, and it's called Small List, Big Results. So if you have only a few hundred people on an email list, how do you still convert that to business? You don't need thousands and thousands. And same with LinkedIn, like if you have a few. So those are my two bonus books. I had to throw them in. Oh, I can't hear you, Bob. Did you mute yourself, my
I
friend?
muted myself because I was coughing there. So yeah, we are all about over delivering here, and we did so yet again, and I love it. That's fantastic. So you've got all kinds of things for gift giving, for giving yourself when you get those Amazon cards at Christmas Day, and you're wondering just what the heck you can do with them. You've got a big list of books that you can add to your bookshelves. So thanks again for joining us on Making Sales Social Live. If you're with us live right now on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, we do this every week, so keep an eye out for our live sessions. If you're already listening to us on our podcast and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe or follow button. If you'd like more info on the podcast, go to socialsaleslink.com/podcast. Again, that's socialsaleslink.com/podcast. We do two shows weekly. We do this one and then our Making Sales Social interview series, which I talked about a little earlier, where we talked with leaders and experts in sales, marketing, business, and many more areas. So when you're out and about, even during this holiday season, be sure to make your sales.
Social. Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody.